friends, welcome back. It's Devin, and today I want to share with you some of my recent reads that I've completed and also what I'm currently reading. I got a nice little stack of books here for you, and I've been really enjoying sharing my book reviews. I know I haven't posted in a minute, but I'm really enjoying sharing good books and sharing book recommendations with my friends. It brings me a lot of joy, so if you're enjoying this, please let me know in the comments. So I'm going through a move right now. What else is new? I'm back in the States, and I've taken a lot of the things that I have finished or I'm about to finish to bring them somewhere else to make the move a little bit easier, because books are always like a big thing. I always bring a ton of books wherever I am because they make me happy. This is also what I'm currently reading, just a small stack. I'm actually currently reading 13 books right now, both fiction and nonfiction. And I've set some nice reading goals for myself this year because finishing them in 2020 made me feel really happy, because I'm really good at buying books and starting books but not finishing them. So that's something that I am working on this year, and I would love for you to share this journey with me. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the books that I've recently finished, and what I recommend, and I'll be back for more. So I actually finished, there's another book that's missing here, but who cares? There's enough to talk about for now. So I have 3 nonfiction and 4 fiction. Some of these are pretty popular, like the Harry Potter series. My brother's girlfriend lent me the first one. I had read the first 3 in high school, like over a decade ago, and I had the 4th one, and I realized I think I gotta go back and read these. So I finished the first one, and one of my goals this year is to finish the Harry Potter series. So I'm actually halfway through the second one here now, and I love it so much. Going back and reading kids' books has really helped me complete things. It's given me such a break with a lot of things going on. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows about Harry Potter. So finished that one already. Second one are also kids' books. A couple years ago, I kind of set this fun thing for myself with used bookstores, and I began like collecting different series. And one of them was the Percy Jackson series. So I found the first 3, and I finished the first 2 already. And these came as a gift while I was going through a really hard time, and I was having a really hard time like reading or focusing or concentrating. And I was able to get through these pretty easily, kind of like Harry Potter. So if you haven't heard of the Percy Jackson series, it is about a boy who finds out that he's actually a half-blood. And a half-blood meaning he's part God, part human, and he goes off to this camp for kids that are half-bloods, and it's about Greek mythology. So it's really fun. It's an easy read. I read them both pretty quickly and really enjoyed it. And I recommend it if you want an easy read, or if you like Harry Potter, if you haven't heard about these so far. So next, I read The Girl with the Louding Voice. This is such a heart book for me. It took me a while to get through it because I actually did go through the move for the winter. So I started this last year, and I didn't finish it until this year in 2021, and I'm really happy I did. And it's a debut novel by Addie Dare. And it's about a 14-year-old girl named Adunni in Nigeria who is fighting for an education. And it goes through her adventure and her journey through being sold, escaping things, death, abuse, like all these things. And it's kind of difficult to read some of the things that she goes through. I really wanted to do like a single book review on this one, so maybe I'll do that if you want me to talk more about this book. I really loved it. It took me a while to get through it, but I was really happy that I did, and I was really touched by her story and her fight and her innocence and her spirit and this just maintaining herself through everything that she endures. And it's written in like broken English in her voice, so at first it's a little bit weird, but then you get used to it. I really loved this book and I would recommend it. It was great as a debut novel, and it came at a time where I was really touched by this girl's story and her fight to get an education through, yeah, and overcoming just so much from, you know, what she was born into. So it's a great book. Then I have some nonfiction. So one of these I finished The Gift. These two I haven't totally finished yet, but I'm about to. And so I had talked about this book, I think, before in my books I travel with. So I brought this book to Bali with me. It's Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. And this isn't like something you read really fast. You know, this is definitely a book to take your time with. I was diagnosed with complex PTSD, and so a friend recommended this to me, and then I brought it traveling with me. And it's kind of one of those books where like I read over half of it in Bali, and I've taken a ton of notes. Like there's so many underlines in this book, and it's not something to speed through, but I always pick it up at the right time. So I know I'm going to finish it soon, and it's always come as like a lifesaver at certain times to really understand. So I would recommend this, obviously, if you have complex PTSD, but this mostly focuses on his perspective of healing it, and it's mostly with childhood stuff. So like going through divorce, neglect, any kind of like abuse or emotional abuse as children. So I think a lot of people would benefit from this book, whether or not you've been diagnosed with it or not. But I think I'm going to, once I finish it, actually do a more thorough review on this book because it's worth it, and I've been happy that I have it, even though it's taken me like a long time to get through. The next is The Gift, 12 Lessons to Save Your Life by Edith Eker. I finished this one about a month ago or so, and so Edith Eker is a Holocaust survivor. Her first book was called The Choice. I didn't read it, but this stuck out to me, and she talks about how the real prison is actually in our mind. So she tells her story, but she also talks about her clients' things and gives advice about life. I have a lot of underlines. This is a book that I wanted to complete, but it's definitely one I'll go back and like look at all my highlights because I have a ton of highlights in this book. And the 12 lessons, I'm going to give you a little brief. Victimhood, avoidance, self-neglect, secrets, guilt and shame, unresolved grief, rigidity, resentment, paralyzing fear, judgment, hopelessness, and not forgiving. So this was a touching story. She talks about both her life experience and also how she's guided her clients as a therapist. She's a psychologist. So this is definitely a good one. Like I have tons of underlines, and it's something I would give to other people and definitely go back to and reread a lot of the notes. It can be difficult to get through. It's not a quick read because it is talking about heavy topics, but it's definitely something that can really help you in a time of need. And last but not least is The Gift of Forgiveness. And this is from Catherine Schwarzenegger Pratt, and it's inspiring stories from those who've overcome the unforgivable. So I saw this at a used bookstore, and when I was walking out, I was like, I probably need that book. So I grabbed it, had it on my shelf for a bit, and then recently I was like, I think it's time to pick that up, as forgiveness is something that I've been working on and struggled with. And I really felt like a hunger for healing while I was reading this. I'm not done it yet, but the way that this book is set up is it's interviews from, I think, 20 different people or so. And it says to take your time with this book. So I was reading like a couple stories a day, and I still am, but so some people that are famous, some people you've probably heard of before, you know, maybe on the news or on YouTube or something, and then also people you've never heard of, and their stories about what they went through, and then, you know, how they forgave, or their process of forgiving, the wisdom they've learned about forgiving, and each one is totally different, and they're quick stories, which I like. So it's easy to get through like a couple a day if you want to. Some of them can be really triggering because she's talking, you know, people are sharing their stories about kidnapping, you know, murder, genocide, rape, you know, like some really intense stuff. So sometimes it can be kind of triggering, but it is worth it. And I've definitely really resonated with some of these stories and the wisdom about forgiveness. And it definitely gave me a shift with it, of how I've looked at forgiveness in my life. And so it's a powerful little book. And I feel like the book itself is just absolutely gorgeous. Look how pretty that is. So anyway, guys, I wanted to share with you some of my recent reads. I recommend all of them. And I'm also, you know, reading some other books. I love the Seven Sisters series, so I'm on the Moon Sister now. And I also found this book, The 10,000 Doors of January. I just started it, but I'm really loving it so far. And yeah, wanted to take this opportunity to share some books that I've recently read. If you've read any of these, would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you have, if you'd like me to do single book reviews on any of the ones I shared, let me know in the comments. If you found this helpful, make sure to leave a like. I'll link some other playlists in the description and how to stay connected with me. I've really loved using Goodreads to track my reading goal process, and I want to make another video about my reading goals this year, and because it makes me happy, and I hope it makes you happy too, talking about books. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'm sending you so much love. And let me know what you're reading in the comments. Bye for now.